What's up guys, War History Geek here, and welcome back to another acquisitions video. Today we're going to be taking a look at two different hauls that I've gotten in the last couple weeks. One's going to be a small selection of items that I purchased from a friend of mine, one for reenacting, one for collecting. And then we're also going to be taking a look at a collection of items that I purchased at the flea market this morning as of recording this. So let's just get right into it. So the first items we're going to be taking a look at here are the items I purchased from my friend. So first off here, we have a Corona typewriter. So let me get this on the table here for you. Let's see here. All right. So as you can see, we have a vintage typewriter here. And what's really cool about this is that it's in relatively good condition. It's from about the mid-1930s to the early 1940s. It's a Corona standard made by L.C. Smith and Corona Typewriters Incorporated. And it's very bulky, so I'm not going to move it around too much, but it's a really cool piece. I've wanted a vintage typewriter for quite a long time. Unfortunately, it's still not in fully functioning condition. There's some bent parts here or there, and it's not moving all the parts as well. I think it might just be a lubrication problem, but I'm looking into some solutions to fix that. But at the moment, I only paid $35 for this, which I thought was a very fair price. It did come from my friend's family, so I'm going to make sure to take very good care of it. I don't know if you want to take a look inside there. It's kind of hard to see. You have the ribbon reel there. But just a very cool piece. Unfortunately, like I said, it's a little bulky, so it's a little difficult to move around and all that. At the moment, it really just kind of sits on my desk when I'm not using it. But yeah, that's all for that typewriter. So an excellent piece there. I was very happy to add it to the collection. And let me just get this off the table and I'll get right back to you guys. All right, and next up here, the other item I purchased from my friend is this German lighter. So let me zoom in here for you. So this is a standard model that was used in the 1940s in Europe. It's a very cool lighter. It does function. You can see the spark there. Unfortunately, I don't have any lighter fluid in it at the moment. However, it is a very nice lighter. It is a modern production. However, it is made by a company in Austria that made them during the war. So this makes it a great candidate for a reenacting piece. I'm definitely looking forward to adding this to my impression. Been looking for a nice lighter for a while, and he just offered a really decent deal on it, so I figured I'd pick that up. So yeah, very great piece there as well. And then moving along, we're going to be transitioning over to the finds I made at the flea market this morning. So at the first booth, great guy, I always stop by his booth. He usually gives me some pretty good deals. Starting with this here, we have a, here, let me get that camera focused for you. So we have a Vietnam era U.S. Army camouflage face paint tube. And I do already have one of these. However, it's a different color, different military serial number. So it is slightly different, but I saw this in just a box of, like, I believe it was a box of pocket knives or something. So I figured, you know, for the right price, why not get it? He originally wanted like $5 for it. I talked him down to $3. I thought that was a fair price. Here, you guys can read it there as I scroll around it. So very cool piece. I'm not going to open it. I'm going to try and avoid scratching the paint or drying out the paint inside the tube. The other one I have does open. It's like a very clay-based paint. It's a little more pliable than clay because, you know, you do have to put it on your face. However, it does have a similar consistency to that, if that helps you guys at all. So very cool there. Only $3. Can't go wrong. It's going to make a nice little shelf piece there. And then moving along, I purchased this right here. This is a reproduction United States banknote from, I believe it was like the 1840s. And I know what you're thinking, kind of a random thing, but the reason I purchased this is because, one, I do collect coins and currency. However, I also, from time to time, will collect, like, political history. So here you can see it's a replica banknote, but on the back, rather than the reverse of the banknote, you have, this banknote is worthless, good government is priceless. And then you have, vote for the candidate for the Mahoning County Commissioner. So, not really a major city or anything, not any major politician any of you guys would know, but just a very cool political piece. I love that quote there. This banknote is worthless, but good government is priceless. I just really like that. So, you know, it was only like $1 or something, probably not even considering all the other stuff I got. So I thought that was a really cool piece to pick up. Not sure what I'm going to do with it. Probably just throw it in with the rest of my coins and currency. But yeah, so that was one item that stuck out to me there. And then transitioning back over to military stuff, we have this collection of photographs. So the two most notable photographs that stood out to me was this photograph here of a U.S. soldier in his uniform here. And I can put up a similar photo here, or a couple here, that are wearing similar uniforms. So this is what I'm guessing is him in his training uniform. From what I could find, like I just said, training. So this isn't his dress uniform. This is his training uniform that he would have worn at camp when he was being trained to go overseas. The couple of photos I have up here that I managed to find were of U.S. Army soldiers training with M1911s. So you can see they're wearing the same types of shirts tucked in with the collar around the top, and then similar leggings as well. So that's a cool picture. And this was the one that caught my eye at first. Whenever I see a box of images or pictures or photographs or whatever you want to call them, I always stop and take a look, because you never know what you're going to find. Like especially if you see some older ones in there, Civil War photographs, American Civil War photographs are incredibly valuable if you do find originals. So I guess that's just a little bit of a collector's tip. Whenever you see a box of photographs, always stop and take a look. So here's the reverse of that. Just has a 35 on the back. So unfortunately, I didn't really get any information about the people in these images. All I saw was the military connection. And then the other image I found was this one here, which stood out to me. And this looked like a military camp to me. And I was correct. Based on what I could find, like, I'm not sure if there were similar camps like this other places, but the camp that I could find the closest to this was Camp Syracuse in New York in about 1917, 1918. And I'm going to put a photograph up here that I found, and you can see the tents are pretty much identical. It's the exact same construction with the wood walls and then the tent going over the top. So I'm going to make the assumption that this is the same camp that you can see in this photograph that I have up here. But if you guys have any better ideas, make sure to leave it down in the comments. I'm no expert on this subject at all. But again, a very cool image. So World War I vintage as well. I just thought this was very interesting. I don't have a lot of World War I stuff in my collection, so whenever I do manage to find it, I make sure to spread out. But my other problem is when I find photographs is that even if they're not military related, I have trouble splitting up the collection. So, you know, like even if there's only 2 military photographs, if there's 15 photographs in the collection, I do my best to keep them together. You know, they were together for over 100 years, most likely, and I don't want to be the man to split them up. You know, part of why I collect is to preserve history, so I decided to pick up the rest of the photographs that were in the box, since they did have the same people in the pictures. So here you can see the same guy, just in some dress clothes, and then on a horse there. And moving along, so I was told by the seller that these all came from the same home. I don't know if these are like his son here. You can see it is from about the same era. And I don't know if that's like his mother or his wife or his dog. I don't know if they're even related, but what I was told is that they came from the same home, so I decided to purchase them all from the seller. So I'm just going to flip through them real quick here. So here's another little one. Some women there. So nothing incredible, just a lot of really basic photographs. A lot of pictures of this woman here, so I'm assuming this was probably his wife. Here's another one. And then finally, this large portrait photo, which I'm assuming is the same woman as well. So, very cool. Just an interesting little collection. Again, these two were the ones that really stuck out to me. So, a neat little World War I photograph collection. Alright, so I'm going to get this pile of photos cleaned up, and I'll see you guys in a minute. Alright guys, and I'm back. So another item I picked up here is a 48 star flag. So I decided to fold it in the proper triangle shape. As I'm a Boy Scout, you know, it's part of my job to make sure that the flag is respected and taken with care. So, you know, it was just kind of in a ball when I purchased it. So I made sure as soon as I got home to fold this up and give it the proper respect it deserves. But this also makes number 5 for 48 star flags. I already had a couple of smaller, like parade flags is what they call them, that they go on the sticks. And then I also had one full-sized one. So when I saw this, I believe I only paid like 25 bucks. So pretty good deal. You know, you see them sell for anywhere for 50 to 100. If they're from like World War II or later, until they finally got Alaska and Hawaii, so, and switched over to the 50-star flag. So again, 48-star flag. You don't come across them terribly often. You know, you find they're not rare, but they're also not common. You know, they're uncommon. So just a nice little piece again that I decided to pick up. You can never have too many 48-star flags. They make a great display piece, great wall hanger. So happy to add that to the collection. And then the final items that I got, which are by far the highlights of this haul here, is I got some Vietnam era, I don't want to call them newsreel, but like radio show records. So to give a little background, these records were in a box of just miscellaneous records at a booth, and he was only asking like $1 a piece, and they were in this envelope together, which I'll show you momentarily. And it turns out that they were not only just like U.S. military records, but they were both U.S. military related, and they were shipped to radio stations to play over the radio as sponsored by, one being the Veterans Administration and the other being the U.S. Army, as kind of like a recruitment thing. So I'll put these up here now to show you guys. The envelope is very fragile, so I do have to be careful. But here you can see, this is the envelope. And you can see at the top it says, phonograph records, keep away from heat. And I've been trying to do research to see if this was the original envelope that they would have been delivered in to the news station. And I don't know for sure, but that's my guess. They were together in this envelope when they were found, so I'm going to leave the envelope with them, you know, just in case, even though it is in terrible condition. And then opening this up here, you have the first record right inside here. And I'm going to take both of them out so I don't have to touch this envelope and risk damaging it any further. All right, so this first record here, you can see some kid got to the wrapping on the outside. But it's Here's to the Veterans, sponsored by the Veterans Administration, record number 109. And on the front side here, you have program number 1418, the Bing Crosby Show. And on the other side, you have Here's to the Veterans, again, by the Veterans Administration, record 109, program number 1417, the Dawn Ellis Show. And unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to listen to both sides in depth, but it's my understanding that these were played on the different shows, or they were at least had cameos by different famous people. Like, for instance, there's other ones that had cameos by the Beatles and other famous artists and talk show hosts and all that. And it's just talking about veterans benefits, it's playing music, and then in between, it's talking about the VA and different health issues that veterans should be looking out for, and then what benefits the VA offers. So, and then all the music is from like the mid-60s, maybe late 60s to early 70s. So this one's an interesting one. We only paid $1 a piece for these, which is just incredible to me. They're in excellent condition. And based on what I could find, I couldn't find this exact one, but based on some similar ones that I saw for sale, you know, they sold anywhere from $15 to $20. So for only paying $1 for it, and on top of that, the historical significance of it, you just can't go wrong. So I am looking forward to sitting down and like fully listening to this in depth. But at the moment I haven't. So if you guys are interested, I can also make a video just on these records, and I can play the recordings off of them and like kind of show you guys what's on them. And then over here, we have our second one. Here's a cardboard protector that was put in there by the seller. We have my favorite of the two. The United States Army presents the Army Spotlight. And you have show 17-69 and 18-69 on this side. And then on the other side, you have shows number 19 through 20. So very cool. It does have a dead stop like right in the middle, you know, if you have different tracks on a record, if it was music. And this one I did listen to both sides in depth. And what's very interesting about this is that it was purely just recruiting service, Army recruiting. So what they would do is they would pick some of the hottest songs from the era, and they would just talk about the different songs, you know, introduce them. But then in the middle, between each of these, because it was sponsored by the United States Army, they would have little talks about recruiting opportunities, like it's sponsored by your local recruiting office. Go check with them for your future, and talking about the benefits of joining the Army and all that. And unfortunately, I haven't been able to find much information on this record, but my guess is because it's the Dash 69, it would be shows 17 through 20 of 1969. So very cool record. I did take some recordings, not of all the music. I still have to do a little bit of research on like how the copywriting on that works and if I will be able to play that. However, I did record the speaker that interjects between the different songs and talks about the different benefits and essentially just tries to recruit more people. So, like I said, this is in a radio format. So this would have been played over the radio on the home front, and it would have tried to recruit people into the Army. And this particular record was focused on women joining the Army as field medics. So they talk about the benefits of women for the U.S. Army and the men in the Army, but then also the benefits for women by joining it. So it talks about college education and jobs and all that other stuff. So very interesting. So I can cut myself out here and interject with some audio from some of these. Very cool as well. So, and then what's interesting is I tried to do some research on how these are connected, these two records, and the other one also does discuss like women's benefits and even has equal veterans benefits for women on the front of it. I'm sure you guys saw just when I was showing the front of the last record. So again, I'm still trying to do research to see if this is the original envelope. I'm assuming it is. And my guess is because they're from the same era, they have similar things in mind with women in the armed forces. My guess is these were probably delivered together to the local news station that they were sent to. So, like I said, I'm still trying to do more research on this. It's a very cool thing. It's a very new thing for me. These are my first military tied records. But I mean, for $2 a piece, you absolutely cannot go wrong. I was very, very happy to find these and add them to the collection. So, yeah. So I'm going to cut myself out here if I haven't already, and then I'm going to play some of that audio for you.
Hello again. This is Army Specialist Bob Cole. For the United States Army and your local recruiter, welcome to Army Spotlight, where we'll be playing some of the best sounds around with the accent on easy listening. In addition to our music, we'll have a few words about the many opportunities awaiting young men and women in today's modern Army. We'll tell you more about that later. Right now, let's get Army Spotlight underway. Member of the Army team.
At an Army field hospital in Saigon, the Army nurse means many things to many people.
An Army nurse fed me and talked with me, and that really meant a lot.
Army nurses, they're the greatest. You know, nobody makes them join up. We know they're here because they want to be.
There's something about the nurses over here. Just by being here, they make you feel that what you're doing is really worthwhile.
Nobody makes nurses join the Army Nurse Corps. Nobody has to.
Stanley Turrentine, a lush backing of strings, a beautiful offering of The Look of Love. If you're just joining us, you're listening to Army Spotlight, being sent your way by your local Army recruiter. Remember, the Army generation is your generation. To ensure yourself of a bright tomorrow, see your local Army recruiting sergeant today.
All right, so now that you've gotten a taste of some of the stuff that they talk about on this record, like I said, if you guys want, make sure to leave a comment in the comment section down below to let me know if you guys want to have a dedicated video just to these records. And I might even still just make a video talking about the history of records and recruiting over the news and all that, and just play some of the stuff anyway. But now that you guys enjoyed that, that is all for this video. So if you guys enjoyed, make sure to hit the like button, and when you're in that area, please consider hitting the subscription button and notification bell. We have plenty of other videos coming in the near future just like this, so stay tuned for that. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.